Okay, in all the years I've been doing this, I will firmly tell you guys, I learn as much from you guys as I learn, probably more, from the product reps. I'm here with Alex, and you run an excavating company, right, out of Georgia. And what's this deal about cats?
So Cat Next Gen equipment, just from the factory, comes with systems in it that you can go punch in benchmarks, grade references, and other things, and you don't need to add Trimble to it. You don't need somebody down there checking grade. Once you get one good spot checked by hand, you put the bucket flat, lock it in as a benchmark or a reference point, and the further you dig, even if you're getting up on contoured hills, it remembers that and can account for it. And that's not even with Trimble or Topcon or any of that added stuff.
So if you're gonna dig, like we did a Menards Superstore up in Maple Grove.
Yeah.
So if you guys live there and you've ever been in a Menards, that's where I did that one. It was a couple thousand linear feet of footing.
Yep.
So I could set one elevation, and every day I was setting that freaking elevation.
If it's the same elevation, and even if it has pitch, you can set it at a 2%, 1%, whatever percentage you want, and your machine will not let you over dig it. It doesn't matter how hard you try and over dig, the machine, once you set, you want a 2% fall for pipe or whatever, or flat for elevations, it will not let you over dig. And it's even got a miniature grade rod system in the cab, meaning when you're flat at tone, it goes doot, 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 doot. It'll tell you that, and you can turn that off and still see it on your screen while you're digging.
Integrated into the machine. So we used to have the add-on, like if we wanted to do it on our dozer, we would put the sticks on our dozer. When we wanted to do it anywhere, this is just built right in.
Yep. It just comes with a couple added sensors on the boom, but it's not an added Trimble system, because Trimble can be $30,000 to $60,000 depending how you configure it. Topcon and the other ones I don't know much about,
but if you don't need that much involved,
if you don't need that much and you just need some basic grade locking abilities, that's what it's got.
All right. Guys, this is one of the first times that you'll actually see the all-electric Bobcat skid loader actually moving. It's been on display a number of times, but moving is a different thing. Let's go over here. I'm with Colin. Colin, there's no hydraulic oil, there's no gas, there's no diesel, there's no fluid, there's nothing on this machine, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've gotten rid of all the hydraulic cylinders, there's no diesel fuel, we're full battery electric, and we're running with linear actuators for the tilt, for the lift arm, and then electric drive motors.
And the sound you hear in the background is actually the other equipment over there operating. It's not this machine. This machine is absolutely, completely dead silent.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just have a small fan on one of the coolers in the back, so that's all you really hear. And when you're inside the cab too, all you're really hearing is the HVAC system running, so the fan that's blowing on you and keeping you cool. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know the machine's on.
What's the runtime? How many hours in a day is this going to operate?
This can do work 5 to 7 hours, depending on how you use it, but that's lifting, digging, moving. You know, when you think about all the time at a job site, when you're idling, you're outside the machine, you're doing other things other than moving dirt, we're getting about a full work day out of it.
How do you recharge it?
So it uses the J1772 charging plug. So any EVSE cable you can get on Amazon, or the portable charger that we provide with it, just plugs into a 220 volt outlet or a hardwired box.
And is this actually available out on the market, or is this still in development?
This is still in development. Okay. So this is a prototype unit that you see. It is a pretty late stage prototype. It's not perfect, but it's the machine we beat up and test, and we figure out anything that we can make better, and we get it ready for our customers to enjoy an all-electric machine. But its counterpart, the T7X, the track loader, is going to be available next year.
All right, I'm going to jump in here and interrupt this interview, because if you notice, the machine is going to stop moving from this point forward. And I found out that it had to do some kind of a reset. Now, this is just hilarious because I've seen this machine on display now for years, and they've talked about it, they pointed at it, they say it can do this, they say it can do that, but the first time I've ever actually seen it moving and grooving lasted about 45 seconds before it stopped moving and grooving. So what is the horsepower equivalent of what this machine operates at?
This operates equivalent on a power scale for the T86 from a machine standpoint, which is I think a 94 horsepower. Or
a 94 horsepower machine.
Yeah, so it's just over 12,000 pounds in total weight. So you get a lot of digging capability out of this machine.
Oh, that weighs 12,000 pounds?
Yes.
Dang. It's all them batteries, right?
It is. The batteries, it's all that weight. And yeah, it's just fun to drive. So I definitely would encourage, if anyone's able to come out to these shows, hopefully in the near future, we're going to let customers be able to drive this equipment, because it's just something you have to be in.
It's fun for about 45 seconds.
To feel the power and feel how much
torque it has.
With torque and digging capability, but just the precision of the controls is very interesting.
Huh. I mean, hey, you can get a lot done in 45 seconds. I mean, I did make all 3 of my kids in under 45 seconds. Is he, what is he doing in there right now?
Oh, he's doing a calibration. So like I said, this is a prototype machine, so occasionally we calibrate the bucket, tilt, and lift arm up and down.
Ah, okay,
so
okay.
It'll go through it and slow. It's not something that will happen.
What will a price tag be on something like this, Colin?
It's so hard to say, you know, because every day we're adding parts, we're taking parts off, so we don't have a price tag for it yet.
You don't have a warranty idea, none of that, because you're just not worried about marketing it yet. You're just showing the world, hey, look what we can build.
Right. Well, we're looking to see what kind of alternative fuels can we use in the field, and I think it's just a big demonstration of going something far different than what the industry is doing. We're the only ones that have a true all-electric machine, and I don't think people really understand what that means and what the opportunity is for it. The data we're getting off of these linear actuators, we know every single piece of work that cylinder does the entire life it's on that machine. But I'm guessing it's not hard to collect that much data when you only have to process 45 seconds of information. So you think about that, think about the mystery, the black box of a hydraulic cylinder. It doesn't remember, nothing remembers on how much work did it do, how many times did it do it. But with this, when we look at predictive maintenance, we look at knowing there was an issue with the machine before the customer ever even felt it. Those are the opportunities we're unlocking by having those be electrified.
How often do you have to calibrate it?
Calibration wouldn't happen more than like once a week or two, and it's just at the start of the machine.
Okay.
So, you know, with it being a prototype machine, occasionally if it it'll just call for a calibration.
As long as it doesn't spontaneously burst into flames, we're good.
No, for sure.
If you guys know what I'm talking about, comment down below. All right, well, since you got some calibration stuff you got to do, I'm gonna let you keep at it.
Absolutely.
Colin, thank
appreciate
you, sir.
Your time.
Much appreciated. All right, before we get into the next segment of this video, I just want to say this dude is a pretty cool dude, so this has nothing to do with him, so just don't pick on him. And Bobcat in general actually makes really solid equipment. In fact, I still own 5 pieces of Bobcat equipment, and they're all really good pieces of equipment. I own 3 Bobcat skid loaders and 2 Bobcat mini excavators, and I've got no complaints. I started my business with Bobcat, and they have, I think I've owned 20 some different pieces of Bobcat equipment, and they've all been really good pieces of equipment. I can't say I've had one lemon out of the bunch. But let's jump into the next piece of equipment. This is called, what is this called?
It's called the tin bin.
Tin bin.
Yeah, so this model is the tin bin TC2. They used to make one that was basically a square box with a fan called the TC1.
This is basically a hydraulic excavator, right?
Well, it's I call
rock
it
back, right?
I call it a shop vac on steroids.
Yeah.
So it's it's a suction attachment, so it allows you to do a lot of the same work that you would do with a vac truck, but with your excavator. Utility exposure, still clean up.
Do you need to do any special? I want to watch this thing. Do you got to modify your piece of equipment, or is this an add-on head?
No, it's just an add-on. As long as your excavator attachment has 2 auxiliary hydraulic circuits, we can run this. You need to be an excavator that's about 15, 16 tons or higher.